Welcome back to Grid Drop. Today, we're going to help you get faster around one of Formula One's best tracks, Spain. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave any feedback or questions in the comments section, or my Discord, which is linked in the description. That being said, let's get right into it. This video will be broken down into 5 sections: car setup, Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, and finally a full lap. These sections are all equally important, so stay tuned to the end of the video if you really want to improve. Before we get into the guide, I want to give a quick plug to Race GTing. I've partnered with them as an affiliate, and by using my link in the description, you can get 5% off any purchase. They offer great prices on sim racing equipment for all levels, from more simple wheel stands to full sim racing setups. If you're looking to get into sim racing or just want to upgrade your current setup, use my link below for a discount. So here's the setup I run in Barcelona. Feel free to pause the video and screenshot this if you want to try out the setup on your own. This setup prioritizes front-end responsiveness while ensuring rear stability when exiting corners. As a disclaimer, this setup is a general baseline for you to start with and applies to both hot laps and a race. I recommend doing a few laps with this setup and tweaking it to fit your own style. The first corner of the lap is a sharp right-hander, so when approaching the braking zone, extend your left wheels onto this red tarmac in order to maximize the turn-in and extend the track. Watch for the meter boards on the left. You want to brake at 75 meters here, so right between the 100 and the 50 meter boards. This is a full application of the brakes, and you want to downshift to 3rd or 4th gear. Start turning in right after the 50 meter board and aim to be aggressive when turning in. You want to try to take some of this inside curb at the apex. Once at the apex, you should be off the brake completely and starting to get back on the gas. You can take as much of this inside curb as you like. The sausage curbs on the inside aren't too harsh. Once back on the gas and in the middle of the track, start naturally pulling to the left now to cut close to this next inside curb. Once at the curb, right where the rubber marks on the racing line start, you can actually push to full throttle very quickly. This corner is slightly banked, so the track gives you an opportunity to slam on the gas without worry of spinning. This is a very effective way to gain lap time. At full throttle now, sway to the right near this red tarmac on the outside of the track, and once you reach this point, start pulling back to the left. The next corner is a very long right-hander, so you want a wide entry. On the outside, start pulling into the apex. You should be close to the curb right where these crypto.com signs begin. Ride close to the curb for a while before slowly opening back up and extending to the left side of the track. After a second or two, you should be fully on the left side of the track. The next corner is a right-hander, so it's important to be all the way to the left here. So that's a look at Sector 1, now let's see it at full speed. Into this corner, I like to ride on this red tarmac to extend the track and maximize turn-in for the next right-hander. Watch for the 50 meter board on the left. You want to brake exactly at this point. Again, this is a full application of the brakes and downshifting to around 3rd gear. As soon as you're braking, you should be turning into the corner. As you reach the apex, try to smoothly transition from brake to throttle. Coasting here can lose you a good chunk of time. Heading up the hill now, increase the gas consistently, as spinning here is possible with a spike of the throttle. To reduce the risk of spinning and have the fastest line, sway out to the left side of the track as you climb the hill. It's best to sway all the way to the left and have your wheels at the edge of the track right where this curve begins. At this point, pull back to the right to prepare for the next corner. On the right now, watch for the 50 meter board. You want to brake just before this point. Again, this is a full application of the brakes, however you want to bleed off the brake pressure rather quickly in order to avoid locking up. Shift down to 2nd gear under braking and rotate the car into the corner. This corner is tighter than it looks, so don't be afraid to really turn the wheel in order to stay tight to the curb. At mid-corner, start slowly getting back on the gas. Corner exit can be a little bit tricky here, as again, it's tighter than it looks. As the corner quickly fades away, open your steering up and aim to take some of the curb on the right. It can be easy to go over track limits here, but using the curb is beneficial. On the curb now, you should be at full throttle. Now head down the hill into the next braking zone. This corner is a bit tricky to nail, so it might take some time to get right. Stick to the right side of the track and watch for where this curb begins. There aren't any meter boards here, so judging the braking by the curb is best. Once you're about a car length beyond where this curb begins, brake. This is a quick, hard jab of the brakes and 2 downshifts. As soon as you brake, turn into the corner and aim to be as close as possible to this inside curb. This section of the track can be very unstable, so I like to avoid touching this inside curb. Once at the apex of this first curb, you should be at about a 3rd throttle. Increase the gas going up the hill now, but do it cautiously. It can be easy to spin. Sway to the right curb now, but make sure to avoid touching this yellow sausage curb on the right. This is the worst curb on the track, definitely avoid it. At full throttle now, sway back to the left side of the track. I like to ride on this outside curb for a bit before the next corner. As the curb fades away, start turning into the next corner. This one is taken completely flat out, so with the proper line, you can be fully on the gas. As you start turning in, a good rule of thumb is to just follow the rubber marks on the track as your line. Try to stay close to this inside curb, as the corner can be a little bit tighter on exit than it seems. Make sure to avoid going over track limits on the left here, but you can use as much of this curb as you'd like. Now, head down the straight and enable DRS. That's a run through of Sector 2, now let's see it at full speed. Into the first corner of Sector 3, you should be sticking to the right side of the track. Watch for the 100 meter board on the right, you want to brake exactly at this point. Under braking, shift down to second gear and start rolling the car into the corner. It's pretty easy to hit the apex here, as it's an early apex with a wider exit. Once turning in and at the apex, start increasing the gas and widening out to the right side of the track. I tend to swing out all the way to the right side of the track and increase the throttle consistently, as spinning is very easy here. Be careful when shifting up to third gear here, as the jolt of shifting can sometimes send you into a spin if the wheel is turned too far to the left, or if your throttle is just a bit too much. Definitely take this cautiously, but as long as you're smooth on the gas and opening up your steering, you should be fine. Once rounding the corner and heading straight into the next right-hander, you should be at full throttle. Cut close to this curb on the left and smoothly transition into the right-hander. There aren't many reference points for braking here, but a decent one is this single yellow sausage curb on the right. Once you reach this, start braking. This is only about 50% of the brakes and 2 downshifts. As you brake and are rolling into the corner, start slightly increasing the gas. Obviously, this is a very long and drawn out corner, so you can't go too fast. Once the corner starts to open up, increase the gas and sway up to the left side of the track, aiming for this curb. You can use as much of this curb as you'd like. Now, on the left side of the track, stay flat out. You don't have to worry about that god-awful Barcelona chicane anymore. Follow the rubber marks on the racing line and pull to the right, aiming for the apex. This can feel a little bit unstable, but I assure you this can be taken flat out. Once through the high-speed right, sway to the left side of the track and again use as much of this exit curb as you'd like. Final corner now, pull into the right, and as you do, lift the gas ever so slightly, only about 10 or 20%. As soon as you lift, you can get back on the gas. The lift is more for the front end of the car to gain more grip. Stick close to this inside curb before swaying to the left on exit. Now enable DRS at the line and head down the straight. That's a look at Sector 3, now let's see it at full speed. Now let's take a look at a full lap. So there you have it, a full lap of Spain broken down corner by corner and sector by sector. If you want to see more track guides on F124, have any questions, or need more tips, feel free to leave a comment on this video or in my Discord. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.